The impossible signal. The signal that changed everything. Station Officer Maria Santos rubbed her tired eyes and stared at her monitor for the third time. The coffee in her mug had gone cold hours ago, but she barely noticed. Something was wrong with the deep space scanner. It had to be a malfunction. The signal appearing on her screen simply could not exist. "Computer, run diagnostic level 5, she commanded, her voice echoing in the empty monitoring room of Deep Space Station Artemis. The station orbited at the edge of human-controlled space, a lonely outpost where nothing interesting ever happened. Until tonight, the computer beeped its response. All systems functioning normally. The signal remained, growing stronger with each passing minute. Maria felt her heart begin to race. She reached for the comm panel with shaking fingers. "Commander Brooks, this is Monitoring Station 7. I need you down here immediately." Within minutes, Commander James Brooks burst through the door, his uniform jacket hastily thrown over his sleeping clothes. His gray hair stood up in odd angles, and his expression showed clear irritation at being woken at 3 in the morning. "This better be important, Santos. I was having the first good sleep in weeks." Maria pointed at her screen without a word. Brooks leaned in, squinting at the display. Then his eyes went wide, and all traces of sleep vanished from his face. "That energy signature," he whispered. "That's a human vessel. But those power readings are impossible. Nothing we have generates that much energy. There's more, sir." Maria pulled up another screen. The computer identified the ship's beacon. "It's the ECS Wanderer." Brooks grabbed the edge of the console to steady himself. The ECS Wanderer. Everyone in the Earth Colonial Service knew that name. The colony ship had launched 200 years ago, carrying 15,000 colonists to a distant star system. 6 months into the journey, the ship had simply vanished. No distress call, no debris, nothing. It had become space's greatest mystery. "Get me Captain Cowrie of the Sentinel," Brooks ordered, "and wake up everyone on this station. This is no longer a routine monitoring shift." The Sentinel responds Captain Rachel Cowrie had been reviewing supply reports when the priority alert came through. She was a tall woman with dark skin and sharp, intelligent eyes that missed nothing. At 45, she had spent half her life in space, working her way up from junior navigator to commanding one of Earth's most advanced patrol ships. "All hands, this is the captain. Battle stations. Set course for coordinates transmitted by Station Artemis, maximum speed." She kept her voice calm and professional, though her mind raced with possibilities. The brief message from Commander Brooks had been shocking. The Wanderer, after 2 centuries, had returned. Lieutenant Shun appeared on her bridge within seconds, still fastening his uniform. "Captain, those coordinates put us at the edge of explored space." "What are we dealing with?" "Something that should not exist, Lieutenant." Rachel pulled up the sensor data on the main screen. The massive vessel dominated the display, its hull clearly human in design, but modified in ways that made no sense. Structures jutted from the ship that had never been part of the original blueprints. The energy output alone was greater than Earth's entire defensive fleet combined. "Scan for life signs," Rachel commanded. "Reading multiple human signatures, Captain. Thousands of them. All showing normal life signs, but there's something strange about the bio readings. They're different somehow, enhanced." Rachel exchanged glances with her first officer, Commander Sarah Mitchell. Sarah had been her friend for 20 years, and Rachel could read the concern in her expression. This situation was already beyond anything they had trained for. "Open all communication channels. Let's see if anyone wants to talk to us." The comm officer worked his console, then shook his head. "They're broadcasting an automated message, Captain. Audio only. It's been repeating for the past hour. Play it." Static filled the bridge, then a voice emerged. It was unmistakably human, though distorted by time or distance or something else. The words sent chills down Rachel's spine. This is the ECS Wanderer. We have traveled far. We have learned much. Humanity's journey has only just begun. We seek peaceful contact with Earth. We bring gifts beyond measure. The message repeated, the same words over and over. Rachel felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. Whatever happened next would affect all of humanity. She had to get this right. Prepare a shuttle. I'm going over there personally. Captain, that's extremely risky, Sarah protested. We don't know what we're dealing with. That ship could be a threat. They were humans when they left, Sarah. They're still humans now. If they wanted to harm us, they could have done so already. That ship's weapons capabilities must be extraordinary. Rachel stood and headed for the ready room. You have command until I return. If anything goes wrong, retreat immediately and report everything to Earth Command. First contact. The shuttle bay of the Wanderer was enormous, far larger than anything that should exist on a colony ship. Rachel's pilot, Lieutenant Marcus Webb, guided their small craft through the opening with careful precision. The bay's walls glowed with soft blue light that seemed to pulse with life. Captain, my instruments are going crazy, Marcus reported. The materials composing this ship, they're not reading as any alloy in our database. It's like they're partially organic, partially crystalline, and partially something we don't have words for. Rachel checked her sidearm, then opened the shuttle door. The air that rushed in was fresh and clean, with a faint scent like ozone after a rainstorm. She stepped onto the deck with Marcus and 2 security officers behind her. A welcoming committee waited. 7 people stood in a semicircle, wearing uniforms that looked like updated versions of the old colonial service design. They appeared young and healthy, which made no sense at all. If they had been crew members when the Wanderer launched, they should be ancient or dead. The person in front stepped forward. He was a black man with kind eyes and a calm demeanor that immediately put Rachel at ease, despite the impossible situation. His uniform bore the insignia of a commander. Captain Cowrie, welcome aboard the Wanderer. I am Commander David Okonkwo. We've been hoping to make contact with Earth for some time now. Thank you for responding to our call. Rachel studied him carefully. Commander Okonkwo, your ship disappeared 200 years ago. Everyone assumed you were lost. Yet you look no older than 35. You're going to need to explain that. David smiled, though there was sadness in his expression. For you, 200 years have passed. For us, it has been 20 years of subjective time. We traveled through something that changed everything we thought we knew about the universe. We found things out there, Captain. Things that will change humanity forever. Asterisk, what kind of things? David gestured toward a doorway. Please, come with me. What we found cannot be explained easily. It must be shown. But I warn you, Captain Cowrie, what you are about to learn will challenge everything you believe about humanity's place in the cosmos. The galaxy is far stranger, far older, and far more dangerous than Earth has ever imagined. Rachel looked back at her team, then nodded. Lead the way, Commander. But know this. Earth has changed too in the past 2 centuries. We're not alone anymore. We've met other species, joined a galactic community. Your return is going to cause complications you cannot imagine. David's expression grew serious. We know about the Galactic Federation, Captain. We've been monitoring your communications. That is actually why we needed to return now, before it's too late. The Federation has been lying to humanity about what exists in the deeper regions of space. They've been lying to everyone, and we have proof. Secrets of the Void, the Truth, Beyond the Stars Commander David Okonkwo led Captain Rachel Cowrie through corridors that seemed to breathe with life. The walls glowed with patterns that shifted and changed, responding to their presence. Rachel's security team followed closely, their weapons ready but lowered. Everything about this ship felt wrong and right at the same time. They entered a large chamber that took Rachel's breath away. The room was circular, with a domed ceiling that displayed the stars outside as if there were no walls at all. In the center stood a holographic projection system unlike anything Rachel had seen before. The technology was elegant, seamless, and clearly far beyond current human capabilities. 20 years ago, by our reckoning, the Wanderer encountered a spatial anomaly, David began. He waved his hand, and the hologram sprang to life, showing their colony ship approaching a swirling vortex of light. We thought it was a wormhole. We tried to avoid it, but the gravitational pull was too strong. It swallowed us whole. Rachel watched the hologram as the Wanderer disappeared into the anomaly. Where did it take you? To a place we call the Void Network. David manipulated the controls, and the image changed to show vast corridors of twisted space connecting distant points in the universe. It's an ancient transportation system, Captain, built by a civilization that existed millions of years before any current species evolved. The Galactic Federation knows about it. They've known for thousands of years, but they've kept it secret from younger species like humanity. Lieutenant Marcus stepped forward, his scientific training overcoming his caution. That's impossible. A network like that would require energy resources beyond anything we can imagine. The mathematics alone would be staggering. You're right, David agreed. By our understanding of physics, it should be impossible. But the precursors, as we call them, weren't limited by our understanding. They manipulated space and time itself. They built gateways between galaxies, created artificial dimensions, and left behind technology that makes the Federation's greatest achievements look like children's toys. Rachel felt a cold weight settling in her stomach. If the Federation has known about this, why keep it secret? Why not share this knowledge? David's expression darkened. Because they failed the tests, Captain. Every species that found the Void Network was given a choice, a test of worthiness. The precursors built safeguards into their technology. It only activates for species that prove themselves worthy through compassion, cooperation, and wisdom. The Federation species, every single one of them, failed. They approached the technology with greed, with thoughts of conquest and domination. But you succeeded? Rachel asked, hearing the skepticism in her own voice. The choice that changed everything, David nodded slowly. We almost didn't. The first year in the Void was hell, Captain. The network tested us in ways we couldn't have imagined. It created scenarios, moral challenges that forced us to prove what we valued most. Unity or division, knowledge or power, life or control. He waved his hand again, and the hologram showed images of the Wanderer's crew facing impossible situations. Rachel saw people making difficult choices, sacrificing personal gain for the good of others, choosing to save lives even when it meant losing strategic advantages. We had families aboard, children. The tests put them in danger, and we had to decide what mattered most. Some of our crew wanted to fight, to conquer the technology by force. But the majority chose differently. We chose to learn, to understand, to prove that humanity could be trusted with knowledge beyond our current capabilities. Marcus was recording everything on his personal device, his hands shaking with excitement. What happened after you passed the tests? The network opened to us completely. David smiled, and for a moment he looked truly happy. We gained access to databases containing millions of years of accumulated knowledge. Technology that can heal any disease, extend life indefinitely, generate limitless clean energy, and traverse the galaxy in moments rather than years. But more than that, we learned the truth about the Galactic Federation. Rachel leaned forward. What truth? The Federation isn't a partnership of equals, Captain. It's a control structure designed to keep younger species limited and dependent. The elder species maintain their power by restricting what others can learn and develop. They claim it's for safety, to prevent younger species from destroying themselves. But the real reason is fear. Fear that a younger, more innovative species might surpass them. David pulled up new images showing various alien species that Rachel recognized from Federation records. Every species that joins the Federation must surrender their research into certain technologies. Artificial intelligence beyond basic levels, genetic enhancement, dimensional travel, neural augmentation. The Federation claims these are dangerous, but the truth is they're afraid. Afraid that a species like humanity, creative and adaptable, might accomplish what they could not. Rachel felt anger rising in her chest. Earth had joined the Galactic Federation 40 years ago, believing it would bring humanity into a community of peaceful cooperation. They had accepted restrictions on their research, limitations on their expansion, all in the name of galactic harmony. Had it all been a lie? You said you have proof of this? We do. David gestured to a woman standing at the edge of the room. She had been so still that Rachel had barely noticed her. This is Dr. Amara Singh, our lead xenarchaeologist. She discovered something in the precursor databases that the Federation has worked very hard to hide. Dr. Singh stepped forward. She was a small woman with intense eyes and gray-streaked hair pulled back in a tight bun. When she spoke, her voice carried absolute certainty. Captain Cowrie, I found records of 17 species that discovered the Void Network before the current Federation was formed. 17 species that passed the precursor tests and gained access to advanced technology. Do you know what happened to them? Rachel shook her head, dreading the answer. The Federation destroyed them. Completely. They were wiped from existence. Their home worlds reduced to radioactive slag, their colonies scattered and hunted down. The Federation couldn't allow anyone to possess technology they themselves had been denied. So they eliminated the competition and covered it up. The official records claim these species destroyed themselves through reckless experimentation. But the precursor archives show the truth. The fleet arrives, alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. David's calm expression shifted to concern as he accessed a control panel that materialized from thin air at his touch. Captain, we have incoming vessels. Multiple Federation warships dropping out of faster-than-light travel. They've surrounded your ship and ours. Rachel grabbed her communicator. Sentinel, this is Captain Cowrie. Report. Commander Sarah Mitchell's voice came through, strained with tension. Captain, we're surrounded by a Federation enforcement fleet. 12 heavy cruisers and what looks like a Valdor's dreadnought. They're demanding you return immediately and that the Wanderer surrender for inspection. They're claiming the ship represents an illegal technological development. Rachel looked at David. They found out fast. The Federation monitors all deep space transmissions. The moment your station detected us, they knew. David's jaw tightened. They're terrified, Captain. Terrified that humanity has found what they could not. They'll do anything to keep this secret. A new voice suddenly filled the chamber, deep and resonant. It spoke in perfect English, but with an artificial quality that made it clear the speaker was not human. This is Executor Vraxis of the Galactic Federation Enforcement Division. The vessel identified as ECS Wanderer is in violation of multiple Federation technology accords. You will stand down and prepare for immediate boarding. Any resistance will be met with lethal force. This is your only warning. David looked at Rachel, and she saw the weight of decision in his eyes. Captain Cowrie, in the next few minutes, you're going to have to make a choice that will determine humanity's future. We can surrender, allow the Federation to seize this ship and all the knowledge we've gained. They'll destroy it, destroy us, and humanity will remain forever limited by the Federation's restrictions. Or, Rachel asked, though she already knew the answer. Or we fight. The Wanderer is equipped with technology that could defeat this entire fleet. We could escape, return to Earth, and share what we've learned with all of humanity. But that means breaking from the Federation completely. It means war, possibly. It means choosing an uncertain future over a comfortable prison. Rachel thought of Earth, of the billions of people who had no idea that their freedom was an illusion. She thought of the 17 extinct species, destroyed for daring to reach beyond their limitations. She thought of what humanity could become with access to precursor knowledge. How many people are aboard the Wanderer? She asked quietly. 15,000, plus the children born during our journey. Nearly 18,000 souls total. Rachel activated her communicator again. Commander Mitchell, transmit everything we've recorded here to Earth Command on a priority encrypted channel. Make sure it reaches the civilian government, not just the military. People need to know the truth. Captain, what are you? Do it, Sarah. That's an order. Rachel turned back to David. Commander Okonkwo, I need you to answer one question honestly. Is everything you've told me true? All of it? David met her eyes without hesitation. Every word, Captain. I stake my life and the lives of everyone aboard this ship on it. The evidence is irrefutable. Rachel took a deep breath, feeling the weight of history pressing down on her shoulders. She thought of all the humans throughout history who had faced similar moments. Explorers who sailed beyond known maps. Scientists who challenged accepted truths. Rebels who fought against oppression. Humanity had always chosen freedom over safety, truth over comfortable lies. Then here's my decision, Commander. We don't surrender. We don't back down. And we don't let the Federation decide humanity's fate anymore. She smiled grimly. Show them what humans can do when someone tries to cage us. A new Don David's expression shifted from concern to fierce pride. He touched controls, and throughout the Wanderer, systems came alive. The ship's hull began to glow with patterns of light that pulsed with power beyond measure. Executor Vraxis, this is Commander David Okonkwo of the ECS Wanderer. We decline your demands. Humanity will no longer accept Federation restrictions. We've seen what lies beyond their walls of fear, and we choose freedom. The Valdris dreadnought opened fire without warning. Massive energy beams that could vaporize a city struck the Wanderer's shields and simply vanished, absorbed and redirected harmlessly into space. David's fingers moved across his controls with practiced ease. Captain Cowrie, I suggest you return to your ship. The Sentinel's shields won't hold against this firepower. We'll protect you, but you need to get your crew to safety and get that data to Earth. Rachel ran for the shuttle bay with her team. Behind her, she heard the sounds of the Wanderer engaging the Federation fleet. But these weren't the brutal explosions of warfare. Through the ship's windows, she saw precise beams of energy that disabled Federation vessels without destroying them, leaving crews alive, but ships powerless. They're not killing them, Marcus whispered in awe. They're proving they could, but they're choosing mercy. The shuttle raced back to the Sentinel through a battlefield that defied belief. The Wanderer moved through space like a dancer, its ancient technology making the Federation's best weapons look primitive. Within minutes, the entire enforcement fleet was disabled, drifting helplessly. Rachel reached her bridge and immediately opened communications. This is Captain Rachel Cowrie to all Earth vessels and stations. What we've witnessed here today changes everything. The Wanderer has returned with proof that the Galactic Federation has been deceiving us, limiting us, keeping us weak. Humanity stands at a crossroads. We can accept their chains, or we can choose our own destiny. She looked at the view screen, where the Wanderer hung in space like a beacon of hope. I know which future I choose. The question is, what will Earth decide? Throughout human space, from deep space stations to Earth itself, people received Rachel's message. They saw the evidence, watched the footage, and learned the truth about the Federation's lies. Some were afraid. Many were angry. But all understood that humanity's comfortable position in the galaxy had just been shattered. The Wanderer set course for Earth, carrying knowledge that would transform everything. Behind them, disabled Federation ships watched helplessly, their crews sending urgent messages to their governments. A new age was dawning, one way or another. Commander David Okonkwo stood on his bridge, looking at the stars ahead. After 20 years lost in the void, after learning secrets that the galaxy had tried to hide, they were finally going home. But they weren't returning to the humanity that had left. They were returning to spark a revolution. Humanity's real journey begins now, he said quietly to himself. And no one, not the Federation or anyone else, will stop us from reaching our true potential. The Wanderer accelerated, its precursor engines bending space itself. In moments, they would reach Earth. In moments, everything would change. And somewhere in the depths of space, in the hidden corridors of the Void Network, ancient machines stirred. The precursors had waited millions of years for a species worthy of their legacy. Finally, they had found one. Asterisk